Bright blue water, hundreds of miles of road to explore, 2 columns of very capable machines, and a whole bunch of different families exploring the outdoors. Hi everybody, welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Rhea Rossi Booth, and we are with this incredible crowd of Eagles Landing Manager Ride. And we're here with the Yardleys, Mark and Katy, and we're all doing our family social distancing, and we are going to be in for some fun today.
We are. As a matter of fact, the camaraderie and the spirit of this group is great because...
No kidding. Look, check these out.
Quarantine has got nothing on me.
We'll show you how to get these later.
Yeah, these are a limited edition shirt. We're very proud to wear them, and you can get one of your very own. But right now, let's find out a little bit about what we are going to discover in the rural part of Beaver County today.
In 1904, P.B. McKeon bought this place. He owned some mining claims up in the mountain. He built a house and a boarding house and a swimming pool and a bathhouse, which he brought people in from Salt Lake all over. He charged them $2 or $3 a day. They brought a lot of miners in from over to Frisco, which is the biggest city in Beaver County at the time. It was close to 5,000 people.
The famous stories I always remember growing up is my dad talking about moving the cows out here. And we've always had cattle rights out here since he was a young man, and this is where we run our cattle. His favorite place is when they used to take the miners from Frisco Peak, and they had swimming pools in place, and they, I guess they would call them mineral baths. And they'd work hard and then they'd go over there and have their baths. And so he was just always enticed. It was a, kind of a big getaway, and then every once in a while they'd get a bathe in the pools and thought that was really cool.
I love this area. This is one of my favorite areas ever.
This is probably one of those areas in Utah that people don't get to spend enough time in, but really should, as you can tell by all the things there are to do out here.
Oh my gosh, the beauty out here is like indescribable. It's like high desert, right? We're kind of in high desert.
With a little Yosemite thrown in.
Exactly, that's what it reminds me of. It's beautiful for ATV rides up here.
It's just, and it's very old granite, but
Yeah.
it's also was very turbulently created, and so it just makes rugged, jagged backdrops. And of course, you can get up close personal to it, like right here at the Big Rock picnic area.
Oh, it's just a perfect place to chill out with your family and your friends. It's beautiful.
Yes, and of course, Yardleys always do their parties upright. They've catered in a big lunch all the way out here.
Well, I wonder if we have Yardley steak burgers today.
I don't know. We're going to find out.
I hope so.
Well, anyway, we are going to take a break because I don't want to miss whatever it is they made for lunch. And we'll send you off to this week's Where To.
Much of that history is crammed into this tiny building that 163 years ago served as the Camp Floyd Commissary. Park ranger and curator Charles Mood guided us through the museum's collections and the camp's story. The Army came here in 1858 to keep an eye on the Mormons, who were rumored to be in rebellion against the Union. Turns out they weren't, but 3,500 soldiers and civilians settled here anyway in what was then the largest Army base in the country, until the outbreak of the Civil War 3 years later. The soldiers, many prominent in the war, headed east. Future Generals John Buford stayed with the Union and Harry Heath the Confederacy. Ironically, their soldiers were the first to collide at Gettysburg just moments after Reynolds' death. Bernard Bee died at Bull Run, but not before giving Stonewall Jackson his famous nickname. Chuck, himself a veteran, takes pride in his collection of uniforms from the period. In 1861, troopers provided protection to Pony Express riders who stopped here during their 18-month run. Across the street, the original 1848 Stagecoach Inn hosted passengers on the Overland Trail. Both the museum and Stagecoach Inn remain open to visitors with cautions during the virus outbreak. Both are busier on weekends, but not so crowded as to cause problems with social distancing. The inn is completely furnished to give visitors an idea of what life was like here in the 19th century. Only a modern fire extinguisher belies the historic kitchen, which is ready to host a meal. One of the early stagecoach arrivals is still here, still alive, kind of.
So this was a black willow tree. It's 160 years old. And the nice thing about this tree, the cool story about it, is it actually was brought here on stagecoach from Sacramento, California.
This ancient black willow tree that witnessed the Camp Floyd occupation finally broke apart a couple of years ago, but it refuses to die. A quarter-mile away, 84 markers dot suspected graves at the Camp Floyd Cemetery. Identities of those who may be buried here remains questionable. The tiny town of Fairfield was here when Johnston's army arrived in 1858. The schoolhouse dates from 1898. It has been refurbished and serves as a community center. Reece Stein at your leisure with this week's Where To feature at Camp Floyd State Park.
This country was built by people willing to get their hands dirty. This machine was built for them. Introducing the all-new Polaris Ranger 1000, the perfect combination of price and performance. Born with a new high-efficiency engine that's geared for work, backed by class-leading hauling and towing, and built to work side by side with the real-life heroes of Ranger Country.
And we will see you next week on the County Seat.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Anthony Lujan, host of the Pitmasters Podcast.
And I'm Rusty Monson. I'm also the host of the Pitmasters Podcast.
Today we are going to be cooking these beautiful tomahawk steaks. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about these tomahawk steaks, Rusty.
So we got these tomahawks from Yardley Meats. That's in Beaver, Utah. It's a 160-year-old company. We like to use local products because these are grass-fed. It's another plus. I really like grass-fed meats, especially in steak. So on the ends of these tomahawks, not a lot of trimming you want to do. They're so thick that that fat will render off because it's going to cook for so long. But the sides here, they're not going to do too well. One, it's going to hinder your rub, so you're not going to get as much flavor as you could on the steak. So Anthony's going to kind of clear that up a little bit. And then this little bone here, you got to clean that up a little bit. Now, it's not important to get it super, super clean, but you don't want a lot of hanging meat off of it because it just burns. We're also going to smoke these guys off in a reverse sear, which we'll talk about in a minute. And these are about ready to season up, so
Yep.
I'll let Anthony tell you about the seasonings.
Today we're going to be using hooks, rubs, and spices. We're going to start off with the smoke and sweetness here. This is a real savory blend. Get those nice and covered up well along the sides.
And notice how heavy is going on those. These are really thick pieces of meat, so you want to get a lot of seasoning on that cover because that's where your flavor is going to be when it comes to your rubs.
And then we're going to come back over the top with Hook's Midnight blend here. This is more of like a saltier, it's going to be more traditional steak flavoring. We're just going to come over here and give that a nice dusting.
Also got a real good kick to it too. So.
Yeah, so we're going to stack these bad boys up and get them over here to the Traeger Ranger. And there we go. We're going to set these down. We're going to look for a target temperature of 120 degrees, and then we'll show you the next step on that. Now this steak is at 125 degrees currently, so ballpark in 120 to 125. We're going to sear it off, and we're actually going to look for our target temperature to be complete at 134 degrees. So we're going to get this on here, lay it down, and I like to give it a little push here so we can get those cool grill marks in it.
And that is it.
We're going to let it sit probably for about a minute, minute 30. Alrighty, now we're gonna give this a small twist for that presentation look to it, probably right in this region right here. So you wanna hit that with a little bit of duck fat.
Let's do it.
We're gonna give it not quite a 90-degree twist, we're just gonna give it more like, what, a 25% twist there. A little bit of pressure. Get some deep grooves on there. And we'll let it rest and chill out there for about another minute, minute and a half. There we go.
Again, looking for that char, and then we're gonna start temping from here. We're gonna get to about 134 degrees-ish before we let it rest for about 20 minutes.
That is the most hardest part to wait for, is actually let that rest.
All right, we're actually at 134 right now. So we're actually gonna pull that and let it rest for about 20 minutes. Again, the hardest part of barbecue or grilling is to wait to eat.
There we go, look at that. Let's cut right into this and see how well it tastes. I'm gonna take my knife here. I'm just gonna cut straight down the bone here. And we'll just give it some slices. Yep, and then go ahead and hit it with some finishing salt.
Not a lot, this goes a long way. So that's it.
That's it. You wanna taste it?
Yeah.
Let's taste it. That's good, man. What do you think?
Really juicy, really good. That Hook's rub comes out pretty prominent.
Yeah.
With that cherry salt, that's really good.
Yep. Alrighty guys, well thanks for watching. We'll be right back with At Your Leisure.
Get some more of that.
Hey honey, have you seen this tire? Do you think we'll make it?
Not on that thing.
Don't let bad tires ruin your trip. With service stations at every location along I-15, we can get you back on the road with fast, friendly, professional service. Eagles Landing has everything you need along the way. Even the things you didn't know you'd need. Get ready for the road at Eagles Landing.
I promised my son that if he got straight A's, the two of us would take a guy's trip. We were riding on the Lincoln Loop Trail outside Minersville, Utah. There was so much to explore, and the trail just kept climbing higher, right to the very top of a mountain called Jack's Peak. We just stood for a while, taking in the whole world below. On the way back to camp, my son turned to me and said, "I love you, Dad." Then suddenly it hit me. This wasn't just another camping trip.
Outdoors is the healthiest place to be during our current health situation, but only when we practice responsible recreation while getting away. When exploring Utah, do the following. Limit gatherings to 10 people or less and keep at least 6 feet apart. Sanitize hard surfaces before and after you touch them. Send a single person into shopping locations, and when making purchases, use credit cards rather than cash. Most important, if you don't feel normal, don't go. Stay safe and have fun out there. If the walls could talk, Rhea,
Yeah, what kind of business went on out here? Monkey business?
Yeah, maybe. Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We're at a place called Roosevelt Hot Springs, which is part of our ride with the Eagles Landing Managers Retreat today. And right over here, you'll see a pool, which used to be fed from hot water that came from that hot spring. That's a Yellowstone grade hot pot right over there. And then this was an old changing room, where the guys, after their bath and they got all sweet and pretty smelling, would kind of hang out and get up enough courage to go talk to the girls at the boarding house right up on the hillside.
And the rest is history.
Or to be filled in the blanks, whatever.
Hey, it was rough being a miner back then, but I think this would be a nice place to hang out. I'd be like, this is a lovely area.
You know, and it probably took them 2 weeks of mining just to earn enough to come over and take a bath and whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a vicious cycle. Anyway, retreats like this are starting to become more frequent for companies. Get the managers out of the office, get them bonding in the great outdoors. The question is, does it work?
We're out here spending some time with our key people and our partners that work with us every day, and we enjoy getting out. We feel like we're more productive when we're able to go out and have some fun together and have one-on-one time instead of just always being at work. I don't know, sometimes board meetings, it seems like you're in there and everybody's kind of ready to get out of there before you even get started. And today we just kind of kick around leisurely and things come up that need to be discussed. So it actually works out very well.
It's a great company, only been here for 3 weeks, and you know, they've already taken me on an ATV ride. Can't ask for much more than that. So a lot more relaxed, you know. You can come up and just talk to them just like normal people. It's not the whole suit and tie and, you know, you're all nervous, all sweaty, you know.
But hopefully it's beneficial for them as it is for me. I enjoy just getting out on the one-on-one, and before the day's over, I'll have a chance to visit with each person individually. Every day I wake up extremely blessed. We wouldn't be able to do the things we did without the people that we have. Without a doubt, that's the #1 key to our success, is the people in our organization.
As you can see, the Eagles Landing advertising department is getting some ideas for some new billboards right here. Part of what happens out here.
This cute little family back here. This is just really a nice family adventure.
You know, you almost need to come out here with somebody like Chris or Mark who grew up out in this area, because these things, there's so many things like this around these different little turns. You got to go with somebody that really knows the area, or we'd have driven right past this.
Oh, totally. Yeah, for sure.
Well, right now it's time for us to take a right turn, or is it a left turn?
I think it's a right turn.
Okay.
I always go right.
You do, that's true. To this week's Along the Way.
If you're a huge fan of Utah's trails, but you're coming from out of state, you'll want to listen close. The Utah legislature has recently changed its rules and regulations regarding out-of-state OHV registration to help make our trails even better. Previously, off-road vehicles registered in other states may have been able to ride our trails without obtaining a permit. The reciprocity rule has undergone a change that simplifies the regulation. Chris Holler with Utah State Parks explains who this will affect and what the benefits are.
Utah did have reciprocity with some states, and other states did not recognize Utah's reciprocity. So meaning reciprocity is if you're registered here in Utah and you travel to another state, they would recognize that Utah registration in order to operate on their off-highway vehicle trails. Over the last 20 years or so, we've gone from right around 45 states that we had reciprocity with to 13. And so Utah has moved to a non-resident off-highway vehicle permit requirement. That came into effect in January of this year. So what does that do? What does that mean? If you own an off-highway vehicle and you're coming to Utah to ride our 80,000 miles of wonderful trail, probably the best in the country, then it's required to have a permit. And that permit is valid for 1 year from the month of purchase, and it's $30.
This change benefits everyone who uses Utah's OHV trails and assists major organizations involved in making your off-road experience the best it can be. Stephen Hawkins of the Utah ATV Association says the permits will ultimately help trail systems be more accommodating to all users.
What it's going to do is put that money back into our trail system The feedback I've gotten off from our Facebook page, most of it's been very positive, that yeah, we should be paying to use the trail system and helping to make improvements in that. Specifically, it'll help us with infrastructure, to be able to have more monies for the trail maintenance, to build the kiosks, better trail marking, bathrooms at trailheads. People love to go out and ride a trail system that's well marked, so they're not afraid of getting lost, and we can, they can create maps of these trails and things like that. It's just a bonus for all of us that are OHV enthusiasts.
So for those of you who are ready to come ride in our wonderful state, you can head on to Utah State Park's official OHV page, where you can find everything you'll need to know before you visit.
They can go to our website, which is ohv.utah.gov, and then when they arrive on that page, they simply want to look for the header on that home page, which is registration and permits. And then from there, they should be able to navigate to what they're looking for. On there, they can buy the online permit, or they can look at the vendor list that's updated frequently of our latest vendors that sell the permits over the counter.
We hope this change will help your off-road adventures be the best they can possibly be, and that you'll make a stop on some of the expansive trail systems along the way. For At Your Leisure, I'm Nick Chase.
Life's busy. The family is all headed in different directions. Work, school, sports. How do you pull everyone together? Steadmans Recreation can help you explore the outdoors and create memories to last a lifetime. Steadmans Recreation has Utah's largest selection of recreational vehicles. Side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, street bikes, electric bikes, trailers, and accessories. Yamaha, Honda, Polaris, and Beta. Plus, Steadmans has a full service department of Honda power equipment.
Steadmans Recreation in Tooele. You may think it's 300 miles out here, but remember, it's only 30 miles back.
Discover new horizons in Millard County. Stand at the edge of the earth on Notch Peak, the second highest sheer cliff in North America. Explore the vast expanses of the Pavant Mountains with an off-road adventure on the Paiute Trail. Take a step back in history with a visit to the Territorial State House in Fillmore. Or try your hand at archaeology, digging for prehistoric fossils. Millard County, the heart of your Great Basin adventures.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. We're up here in the Mineral Mountains with the Eagles Landings folks, and there's a rock house behind us.
It's crazy looking, isn't it?
Yes. So what's the deal behind this rock house?
You know what? Apparently it's where they made moonshine.
Oh, nice.
It's very old, and apparently they used to make moonshine up here, so yeah.
For the miners.
For the miners,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Okay, so this is so incredible. I mean, what a family adventure we've had today.
Oh, so much fun.
You guys, it's just amazing, like what you do with your managers, how you take them out.
Well, we actually have kids and family that work for us, but then all of our managers and employees, once they come to work for us, they become family. And then in return, they actually treat all of our customers like family. So
it's the truth.
We are just one big happy family.
Yeah, you got to hit those Eagles Landings when you go through Utah and out west. It's beautiful. Yeah. All right, well, not only are you guys family, but our sticker winner is family too. Check this family out.
This week's contest winner is license plate number 871MJB, who was spotted sporting their AYL sticker around town.
Yippee! Looks like you're the lucky winner of one of those amazing coolers from Lurpin Outdoor. These things keep your food and drinks cool for days and days out in that hot sun, and they also fit in most side-by-sides.
Be sure to visit lurpinoutdoor.com for more details, and it looks like they're also going to win a bonus $100 gas and gift card from the Eagles Landing family.
Be sure to call us on Monday at 801-947-8888 to claim your prize. Now let's take a look at our Trail of the Week.
This week's Trail of the Week is the Forshia Mountain Trails, which are part of the Paiute Trail System, and the trailhead begins in the Marysville Town Park.
To find out more information, see virtual maps, and of course, look at our 360 street views of this trail system, or for that matter, any of the trails that have been completed on the Trail 360 project. Visit outsiders.zone.
Now, let's take a look at next week's show.
Next week, Kevin and Gina are heading down to Paiute County to a newly minted trail that follows in the footsteps of the storied outlaw as they show you the beginning of Butch's Loop, which is a great trail that connects 3 different counties.
Then we're off to Iron County to shoot the gap and show off the area, and of course, one great trail that you'll want to sure to be covered while you're there.
Finally, we're going to the Heber Valley Air Museum to show off the warbirds over Heber City as they commemorate the D-Day anniversary.
Next week's show looks great, but it cannot look any greater than these shirts. Now remember, at the beginning of the show, we told you we're going to tell you how you could, for a limited time, get your own Quarantine Has Got Nothing on Me t-shirt.
I love it. So we're with the Air family. We got Graham, we got Mom, we got this beautiful daughter. What's your first name, honey?
Tyra.
Tyra. She made these shirts, which is really cool. So how do we get a hold of these shirts?
They're on a website, Etsy.
Etsy?
Yeah. It's a website, and
Okay, so it's like an eBay sort of thing. You just go on and order them from Etsy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is the link right here?
The link's right here.
Okay, and what inspired you to make them?
My family goes out every weekend. We make the time to go out, and when we were told to social distance, it really didn't change our lifestyle. It just gave us more time. So quarantine
Do you really have a mask on your machine?
No.
I think that's your next project.
Okay. I love it. The colors is just wonderful. Let's just get out there.
So just remember, there is adventure around every bend.
You just got to get out there and create your own adventure.
At your leisure.